Welcome to Seize the Mains by Raj Malhotra's IS Academy. I'm Surbhi Sardana and this is Season 3 of our Daily Answer Writing Initiative. This initiative runs in coordination with our website, which is rajisacademy.com. On our website, in the Mains Answer Writing section, you will see all the Seize the Mains questions with their model answers. You can go and read all the answers from there. You can help, that can help you a lot in your answer writing practice. Also, for today's question and for any of the question on Seize the Mains that we've discussed, in the comment section under each question, you will get a space to post your answers. You can post your answers that you're writing on a daily basis in the form of pictures, or you can also type your answers. What you'll have to do is you'll have to log in here with the help of Gmail, Discuss platform, Twitter or Facebook, and after that you will be able to comment under the question. If you go downwards where the model answer has been updated, below that you'll be able to comment and share your pictures, share the pictures of your answers in the comment section. In the next few days, most probably in 48 hours, our team will evaluate your answers and respond back with their feedback entirely free of cost. So join us, get your preparation for mains aced up. It's time for prelims. I understand that a lot of anxiety is brewing around because prelims is approaching, the year is changing, so anxiety levels are going higher. But one question each day, spending few minutes on each day, on everyday level, that will help you gain immensely for prelims as well. You'll be able to retain better, and the more you find yourself prepared for mains, the more confidently you'll be able to handle prelims as well. So yes, today's topic is Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD, COP or Conference of Parties 15. COP 15 or Conference of Parties 15, it was held in two parts. The second part was held in Montreal, Canada. Recently, it concluded with a framework document. Now, a question has been framed with regards to CBD, especially keeping in focus COP 15. Let's see what is this and let's see how to approach this question. The question reads you, highlight the features of Convention on Biological Diversity with respect to the recent COP 15 Biodiversity Summit. Also discuss the challenges associated with conservation of biodiversity. Answer in 250 words. So see the second part, the challenges associated with conservation of biodiversity. That is very general question. UPSC is in a habit to ask you multiple questions in one question itself. So the second part is very much general, that can be tackled easily. The first part, highlight the features of CBD with respect to the recent COP that was held. Here we are amalgamating features of CBD because there are not many features of CBD that you need to get into technical details also. What we'll do is we'll amalgamate some features of CBD and we'll also talk about the features of COP 15 and how it will help in conservation of biodiversity in future. So yes, starting with the introduction, always start your answers with introduction, end your answers with a conclusion. Without that, your answers are incomplete or not very presentable. You will not be marked highly if you do not use introductions and conclusions in your answers. So let's start by talking about CBD, obviously Convention on Biological Diversity. That is not to be defined by you because already the question on COP 15 has been asked. That happens every 2 years. So since the question is on COP, just talk about the purpose or vision of CBD and then move on to talk about the real stuff. The Convention on Biological Diversity is an international legally binding treaty with three main goals. Goals are important here: conservation of biodiversity, sustainable use of biodiversity, and the fair and equitable sharing of the benefits arising from the use of genetic resources. So this is your purpose or vision of biodiversity that is made clear by this one statement. It also covers biotechnology through the Cartagena Protocol on biosafety. So that is also important. You can talk about biotechnology or regulation of biotechnology by mentioning Cartagena Protocol on biosafety, some additional facts with regards to CBD. Now coming to COP 15 or Conference of Parties 15, it concluded in Montreal. Since this was recent, that's why we are talking about the venue also. You don't have to remember places where the previous COP was held. No, that is not required. Conference of Parties 27 or Conference of Parties for UNFCCC, that venue is always important. So you can remember that one venue and talk about that in your answers as well. Otherwise, others are not that important. Since this was recent, that's why we are writing Montreal. Also, the headquarters for this are in Montreal. They concluded in Montreal promising to take urgent action to protect and restore the world's biodiversity, all the different forms of life, plants as well as animals that inhabit this planet. So you've given a heads up about COP15 also, what it was doing, what was the purpose, and you've given a heads up about CBD also. Adequately within two to three lines you have written an introduction. Now move on to the features part. So when you're talking about features, talk about the features of CBD first. A little bit of them have been mentioned here in the introduction itself, so yes, you can move on there. Also, after like 1-2 features, we will shift our features with respect to the recent COP. The unique feature of CBD, first of all, it is that it recognizes impact assessment as an important tool for helping ensure that development is planned and implemented with biodiversity in mind. So that is something very important here. In fact, there are other conferences also, other conventions also which recognize the importance of impact assessment, and CBD is one of them. Then the second one, now we are moving on to Montreal Conference. The Montreal Conference has delivered a new agreement called the Kunming-Montreal Global Diversity Framework (GBF), which contains 4 goals and 23 targets. These are very important here that need to be achieved by 2030. The 23 targets for 2030, including the 30 by 30 target, are milestones towards the overall goals for 2050. So, we've given the entire features for this recent conference that has come up, the document that has come up. Now, talking about the 30-30 target, it is a commitment to protect at least 30% of world's lands, oceans and coastal areas by 2030. It has been deliberated upon. A related commitment is to ensure that restoration activities would be started on at least 30% of degraded land or marine ecosystems by 2030. So that is your 30 by 30 target, which is a part of the 23 targets under 4 goals that have to be achieved by 2030. What is the overall goal? That is to ensure that all natural ecosystems are maintained, enhanced or restored substantially with an overall increase in the area of natural ecosystems by 2030. Another goals, the pending goals with regards to this, or the features with regards to the Montreal Conference, they are with regards to funding by developed countries to the developing countries, taking funding from private organizations, etc. So another goal is to ensure a tenfold reduction in extinction rate of species. This is important here. Currently estimated to be 10 to 100 times higher than the average of last 10 million years. Among the other 2030 targets is commitment to reduce global food wastage by half, and UNFPA, United Nations Food Programme, might be brought in to coordinate, reduce the risk of pesticides and other chemicals by half, and cut at least 500 billion every year from subsidies that harm biodiversity. So features of CBD and the recent conference that are being talked about here, do not confuse yourself with what is happening or what you have to write in the answer. Finally, it is about funding, mobilizing at least $200 billion per year from public and private sources for biodiversity related funding, and raising international financial flows from developed to developing countries to at least $30 billion per year. See, demands of funds, they have come in COP27 also. The southern nations or the developing world, they have been demanding funds from the developed world, because it is the actions of developed world which end up harming the developing world. So this body paragraph called the features, this was about how much you've read in current affairs, how much can you gather and memorize and then put up in your answer. Now moving on to the challenges part. What are the challenges not associated with CBD but associated with conservation of biodiversity? So first of all, commercial agriculture. Commercial agriculture needs more land, and the need for more efficient breeds, more and more efficient breeds. Whenever they are brought in through genetically modified techniques, it leads up to the, it leads to less priority given to the old breeds or traditional breeds that have been present in the environment, and hence they're wiping out. Then second threat is the invasive alien species, which no country has been able to control successfully. Every season we see new types of invasive alien species, including plants, animals, pathogens that are non-native to an ecosystem, and they cause environmental harm or adversely affect ecological balance. In fact, restoring native species back to an area after an invasive species has taken control, whether of the aquatic body, the marine ecosystem, whether it is the normal, probably a forest, a national park, that kind of area, a land area or a water area, that is very hard restoring the native species back to original. Then you have global warming and climate change in process, the push that is being given to our planet by the by global warming and ever increasing climate change, that is decreasing the number of species, that is decreasing the number of species that we have on earth. Species are going extinct at an alarming rate, and many of the species have not even been registered with IUCN. That is the sad reality. Then you have, due to lack of efficient plastic waste management, that plastic either it ends as microbeads, microplastics, or it ends up in the oceans where it is harming the marine or aquatic biodiversity without us even knowing that. So microplastics are getting dumped into oceans, choking and starving marine life and causing liver, reproductive and gastrointestinal damage in animals and directly impacting marine biodiversity. Now see, since plastics are entering oceans, that is something that has been mapped on a very small scale. Preventing something in the ocean, protecting marine diversity in the ocean, that is a very problematic situation, because that cannot work like how protection or preservation of species happens on land areas. So that is going to be very different and very challenging, and that is something, plastic management, that is something the entire world is grappling with. And the plastic that we've already produced, that is also causing pollution. The plastic that we produce in future or we continue to use in recent times, that is going to exacerbate that is going to exaggerate the problem. So this problem needs to be addressed to be able to reduce the number of challenges to biodiversity. Then you have the genetically modified plants. They impose higher risk to the disruption of ecosystem and biodiversity because of better traits produced from engineering genes, and this can result in favoring of just one organism in case of a species, in case of a plant, in case of dietary practices. And then what we are losing out on, first of all, the traditional plant varieties that have been planted, and secondly the traditional knowledge also that we are losing out on. And you never know that if a plant species goes extinct, what benefit it could have entailed for mankind, until unless such emergency situation arises, that its benefit can be realized. Then you have use of pesticides, rise of tropospheric ozone, all miscellaneous factors, sulfur, nitrogen oxides from industries, they greatly contribute to the degradation of natural ecosystems. So yes, in the features, what you can do is just paraphrase, just rephrase these statements. Talk about the 30 by 30 target, talk about the 4 goals and 23 targets that have appeared in the features. Also what you can do is, if you feel that features for CBD are less here, yes, they are less here as compared to because the conference itself had a wide variety of features, so the answer went long that ways. If you feel that you want to give features of CBD also and you do not have enough word limit, what you should go for is, for example, if you are writing your answer like this is the question here, you are writing intro here, your body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2 and the conclusion. So after the intro and between body paragraph 1 and after the beside the body paragraph 1, make a box regarding CBD. Make a box regarding CBD and in like 2 to 3 pointers give its features specifically, and in the body paragraph 1 then you can give features of the Montreal conference that has been held. A second body paragraph is obviously of course about the challenges, and then in the conclusion, let's see what to write in the conclusion. Now see, we are exhausted of almost all the information that we could give to the examiner. So here creative conclusions work. Talking about future, talking about the best solution, giving a way forward, that is what it works. That is how it works. And now see, CBD has been in place for like decades. Now Montreal conference also has made new promises for a better future, but all of these commitments, they mostly stay on paper, and in reality the realities are very different when we actually reach to that year. For example, 2030 in this case, and then 2050. So when we actually reach to that year, the reality is very grim. So what you can talk about is that implementation is where the solution lies, how to implement, and also you can talk about the funding that developed world needs to be accounted, needs to be held responsible, because as we discussed, global warming and climate change is also pushing biodiversity towards extinction. So there is a need to take urgent action to protect and restore the world's biodiversity, all the different forms of life, plants and as well as animals that inhabit this planet. Success of Kunming Montreal biodiversity framework will be measured by our rapid and consistent progress in implementing what we have agreed to. So yes, a very basic line, a very simple line, you could as well, delete the first line and just conclude with one last single line, and that would complete your answer in, around 250 words. Also, make sure that you visit our website, read out the entire question, and yes, that is the way to go. Read out the entire model answer. Try to write your own answer as you finish watching this video, and after reading the model answer, write your answer there and then, because if you push it towards tomorrow, that won't be successful enough. So yes, attempt the question, write your own answer, send them to us, and this is a teamwork going on here. We are here to help you. Reach out to us through call, email, telegram, anything that's comfortable for you. Stay tuned to the channel. I'll see you tomorrow with another discussion in Seize the Mains at 9 p.m. Till then, keep working hard and all the best.